What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to another FPL video. Today we're going to be going through the knee-jerk reaction so far for this game week for FPL season 2020-2021. Welcome back. If this is your first time, welcome to my channel FPL INKLING. My name is Mo. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button to help me get to that 500 subscribers mark by the end of this season to win that bet of a PS5 with one of my mates. In addition, if you've been here before, welcome back to my channel, and please hit that subscribe button, hit the like icon if you like the video that you guys see, and please hit the bell notification icon to get the latest notifications for my content in regards to FPL itself. So today we're going to go through the reaction of what's happened so far, who's done what, what's gone well, what's not gone well, which decisions were good, which decisions weren't that great. So let's crack on and let's get beginning, guys. How have you guys been? So this is my squad here for you guys right now. Let me show you guys the points that I've got. So let's get this up. Here we are. So as you guys can see, so I got 65 points so far this week, guys. So I've played the first round of the game week fixtures, and I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Watkins, so 10 players still to go. So my aim was to get around 120, 125 point mark. So let's see if I can achieve that. I'm on course so far, so I've still got Fernandez to go with 2 game weeks with my captain. So let's see how that goes from there. So I've got loads of questions that you guys have sent through as well. So we'll go through some questions for you guys, and I'll let you know what's gone well for me and what hasn't gone so well for myself for this game week as well. So the average so far is 47 points. So I'm pretty much 18 points clear of that so far, but everything can still change because, as you guys can see, we've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games till to go. So let's begin. And one of the first questions is Watkins suspended for game week 36? No. So he's suspended for the Everton game, which is going to be played on Thursday the 13th of May, which is against Aston Villa, which is Aston Villa versus Everton. So he's going to be suspended for that game that they're playing at home. But otherwise, he'll be available from game week 36, as it was just a red card from 2 yellows rather than a straight red, which should have been a longer suspension. So he's only suspended for 1 game week, which he'll be back. That's why I only counted 10 players, not 11. So it's a bit of a kick of the teeth for me because I was expecting a return from Watkins myself this game week as well. But hey, that's part of the game, guys. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. I could have had Maguire in my squad, Ben Dunk, or other players that went off injured. So in terms of just losing 1 player, I think I've done pretty well in regards to that itself. On my bench, I had Struch from Leeds and Lingard, so they only got a point each, so I didn't really miss much in regards to what I have on my bench. But Dallas came off good for me. He got a lovely kind of like goal for me over the weekend against Spurs. Kane, I was expecting more personally. Unlucky to score from an offside position. But hey, that's part of the game. Son got me a return of 7 points, so not too disappointing there. But for me, I had high expectations of Kane. I was pretty close to captaining him because I thought it would be one of those game weeks where he'll just literally run riot on the Leeds defence. But luckily, I kind of stuck to being safe rather than risky, and I went for Fernandez instead. The next question I got was, Zaha was non-existent in the game he played against Sheffield. Was he injured? Now, I've got no injury update for him. I think it was just one of those games where he just didn't show up. But, as I did mention, he was one of the differentials that I was looking at as well from last week. But he's still got 1 more game to go against Southampton. Now, Southampton, since it's like kind of like the turn of the year, they had that great result against Liverpool. However, they haven't really excelled personally this year. So I'm expecting, if he does turn up that day, he can get a return for you. But that's the benefit of having 2 game week players, is if they don't perform in the first game, they've still got the second game to fall back on to really kind of like take advantage of the lack of points from the first game week itself. So I don't think there's any injury. There's nothing that I've heard, nothing that I've seen on Twitter or any kind of sports news itself. But I think it's just one of those games where it was just a no-show. But he's got the game against Southampton for really put that right and see what he can achieve. Maguire went off injured in the game over the weekend. Will he be fit for the next 2 games? To be completely honest, I don't think he's going to play against Leicester tonight, and I'm pretty certain he probably won't feature in the Liverpool game either. So there's a couple of things we need to take into consideration. What does Ollie want to kind of prioritise? So at the moment, for me, I kind of think he believes that he has solidified. I mean, not mathematically, but if you look at it generically, I think they're pretty much almost nailed on for the top four place to qualify for the Champions League. So I don't think he's going to put all his eggs in one basket at the moment because of the kind of numerous games. So they've got Leicester tonight, followed by Liverpool on Thursday, and then on Sunday I think they're playing Fulham. So it's quite a few games, which I can't. I mean, sorry, there are quite a few games which are going to be coming back to back to back. They're going to blank in one of the games, so it kind of gives them a kind of like a bit of a lengthy period for him to recover. I think Bailly might come in into the defence to shore up things. For that, he's played Matic there previously at centre back. It depends, but they've got Bailly on defence, so I wouldn't see a reason why they wouldn't kind of play him. But for Maguire, I think the priority will be to get him fit for the Europa League final. That's my personal opinion. So if you do have him in your squad, I think he'll probably be one of your key transfers to make. And the second part of the question was who to bring in for Maguire if he is to be replaced. So he's around 5.5, 5.7 mil. Kind of alternative players that I'm looking at potentially for that kind of price range. You could go Luke Shaw if you want to stay United to United, or Wan-Bissaka. Not really sure who you've got in your squad, but if you want to go outside of the United kind of a defence, then you've probably got players from like Leicester. It depends on your budget, like Castagna. But Leicester's fixtures are changing for the worst. Probably, maybe why not go Chelsea? So Rudiger, Reece James, Aspilicueta, Chilwell. So these kind of players as well. And then if you want to go for City, maybe Laporte or Diaz himself. So these are kind of the options that I would give. But if you've got like a less budget, or you want to go a bit safe, then Michael Keane from Everton, or you could go Dallas from Leeds. Those kind of options are available for you as well. So that's my opinion in terms of Maguire. He's probably not going to play for the next couple of game weeks. So if you do have him in your squad, this is a great time for you to kind of like substitute him out and kind of bring in a new player, or transfer him out if you can on the bench. If not, then just transfer him out and bring in a new player for this game week moving forward over the next couple of game weeks. I brought in Schmeichel in goal for the Newcastle game, assuming he'll get me a clean sheet, but I only got 4 points. Yes, so I've had quite a few messages in regards to this around Schmeichel. I mean, what a result, guys. 4-2. I never envisaged that. I generally thought this was going to be 4-2, maybe the other way, maybe 4-0 to Leicester. But that's the beauty of football. That's why you can never predict who's going to do what, where and how. But yeah, bringing in Schmeichel is a kick in the teeth, because you brought him in for a clean sheet and he's got 0 points, then unfortunately it is what it is. I mean, moving forward, looking at his fixtures for the last 3 game weeks, you got United, Chelsea and Liverpool. Personally, I wouldn't look at, sorry, not Liverpool, sorry, City, sorry. I wouldn't look at these game weeks personally to keep him in. I'll probably, transfer him out. Maybe for like Pickford, or Meslier for Leeds, who've got some really good fixtures over the last 3 game weeks. So that's someone that I recommend if you are looking to kind of take Schmeichel back out. But it's one of those guys, you can't really predict it, but it's happened now. So better luck next time, I guess. I have 92 points already, and I have 10 players still to play. Wow. Wow. I mean, if you've still got 10 players, I think you're looking at crossing the 150 points mark. What was your rank? Please let me know. And also, who's your captain for the league? I assume it should be Fernandes, potentially. So, yeah, I mean, in regards to that, I mean, if you've already got 92, then you're looking at around about 150 points. So that would do a massive boost to your ranking. I mean, this is one thing that has taught me this season, guys. I mean, I've been playing this game for around 8 years, but I think one of the things I've learned this year is to really keep hold of my own chips. So I used my chips really early on in the season. So that was like, bench boost, free hit, triple captain. But one thing I have kind of realised and kind of really appreciated is the value of holding them, using them in double game weeks. But this is how you're learning and you're becoming better at the game. So that's for me something that I've learned, which I'm going to be using to next season, and I'll definitely let you guys know around my plans and how I can make sure that can improve my overall rank. So I've got a question around where am I in ranking based. The reason why I'm not showing people my rank this season is because I didn't play this game for a couple of weeks during the mid-season due to COVID and family priorities, but I'm around 1.2 mil at the moment, guys. But that's not the worry for me at the moment. I'm focusing on mini leagues. Next year when I'm back, my aim will be to be in the top 500,000 players of the game itself. So that's my target for next year game week, guys, of the game season. So that is what I'll be aiming for. I played Bruno triple captain, and I already have 20 points. Yeah, I mean, you already have 30 points in regards to that. Well, there you go, guys. So it shows that already on 30 points from one game. Let's say he gets you another return, you can be on 60. And that's the beauty with one more game to go. And that's the value of these chips, guys. So use them in the right game week. Right now, I really do feel that I should have held on to it, and I definitely would have played it with Bruno Fernandes this game week if I had that triple captain chip. I played Aguero in my bench boost. Is it time to get rid of him? Well, he's definitely going to play the last game of the season, guys. I'm not sure if they're going to do the whole, John Terry, take him off after a certain number of minutes. But he will play the last game week of the season. Yes, he did a Panenka, and he missed that penalty, made him look silly. But when it comes off, it looks good. But when it doesn't, it happens, guys. So that is what it is. But if you're looking to get rid of it, I mean, that's a lot of value for someone to have on the bench. So 10.3 or 10.2 mil. Why not go for someone else, like someone like a Cavani for 7 point something mil, and then kind of use the remainder 2.5 mil on upscaling your squad. That's my opinion. But if you want to keep Aguero, and that's your shout. I've had both Dunk and Watkins sent off. Oh wow! And Maguire went off injured. My game week is a disaster. Only 32 points so far. Wow. But how many players do you have that's still left to go? I mean, yeah, that's unlucky. I mean, to be fair, Watkins, dive, second yellow. There's no place for diving in the game. Yes, it looks good when it comes off for the team who gets the penalty, and they win. But in the VAR kind of like current regime, is it really worth diving? Is it really worth looking for those kind of like half-hearted tackles, dive, or kind of get another person sent off to win a penalty? It's really risky, and it's a shame because I really rate Watkins as a player, but for him to kind of go down in that kind of manner for a young player, it doesn't really set a good precedent for him as a player himself. So for me, yes, not great, sent off rightly so, misses the next game versus Everton. In terms of Dunk, yeah, it was a shame really because he scored a goal and then gets sent off, which makes him miss out on the next games. And then you've got Maguire as well, who's gone off with an injury as well. So I hope you have 2 transfers, so it won't be too much of a kind of hit on your squad in terms of losing any kind of points itself. But for me, I took an 8-point hit for me to kind of like take the benefits of it, and already I got 7 from Iheanacho from bringing him in. So I already recouped the difference from nearly one player. So for me, and Greenwood came in for 10 points. So already I doubled my kind of like returns with 2 players that I did get into my squad, plus Dallas, who got me 9. So for me, it's worked out perfectly well for this week. But if you don't have those kind of like transfers available, then for me, if you've got suspended players, there's no point in having them on the bench unless you've got like a strong bench to bring back on, who will come in and fit in for that week. Otherwise, just take the hits and get the players into your squad that you're looking to bring in. For myself, I was a bit gutted that Luke Shaw couldn't keep a clean sheet. I wasn't expecting Konsa or Martinez to keep a clean sheet because I kind of assumed United will score, and my kind of like hope was, because I had 2 attacking United players, but I generally wanted United to keep a clean sheet, so that was a bit of a shame. I expected more of a return from Salah. Personally, he had his chances, kind of fluffed them. He's coming into a bit of form, really, to be fair. It's just a shame he's not really kind of cementing and finishing his chances. So that's the real thing, I'm hoping. Well, he's playing United next, so that'll be an interesting game. Will United play a weakened side? I pretty much assume so because of the 3 games back-to-back. But United versus Liverpool is always a big game, guys. Whether it's a weakened side or, it's a strong side, there's always a classic game that's going to happen. So let's see what we can get from there. In regards to Everton, my next kind of like best kind of hope is that Aston Villa keep a clean sheet against Everton when they play them on Thursday night. They haven't kept a clean sheet in 8 games, but Martinez has been phenomenal. So if they can get me a return, that would be something which will help boost my game week score itself. The next question I got was, what's happened to Kane? Is he losing form? I mean, to be fair, I don't think it's kind of like loss of form. I think it's just the players and the team around him. Tottenham as a whole generally are not performing to their ability. Losing to Leeds, I mean, that's no disrespect to Leeds, but if you look at the overall quality of the 2 teams playing, paper, doesn't win you games, but generally for a team who's aspiring to get into the kind of European competition, Champions League, I expected a more kind of like a gutsy performance, a non-existent performance by the Spurs full team in the kind of like League Cup final that they played against City. So it's not looking good for Spurs whatsoever. Now, is he going to stay or not? That's one of the common questions I'm getting as well. I don't think so. I don't think he'll stay now. I mean, he served his purpose at Spurs. You know, he's been there. He's been kind of loyal to them. He's played a big chunk of his career. I think it's time he'll look for a move now. Where will that move lead him to? Will he stay in London? I don't think they'll sell him to a London club. Manchester, United, City. I don't know who's favourite. I mean, with Cavani securing his extension yesterday, I don't think United will be kind of chipping in for him right now. So for me, if he goes to City, can you imagine City signing Haaland and Kane? Wow. But let's just say they signed Haaland. They signed Kane, City, and United get Haaland. Wow. What a season it'll be next season, guys. And what a season it'll be for FPL managers. But I think, maybe United will now be looking towards back to Sancho, which will be a great masterstroke, to be fair, because if they can knock off, a couple of mil off him and get him for literally a couple, like 10, 15 million cheaper than what they were asking last season, it was worth the year, right? Run down the contract, get him in. So there's a lot to look forward to. I think Kane now, is he demotivated? I'm not too sure. Is he still recovering from injury? Is yet to see. But in my regards, I think Spurs are going to be, lucky to hold on to him. But I think he's got his mind elsewhere now. I think his agent will be kind of like getting him involved in maybe a transfer away. Will he stay in the Premier League? I think he will. I don't think he'll go to Spain or anywhere. I think he'll want to stay in England and maybe win the Premier League or Champions League or other honours that he hasn't won so far. The next question I have is, have I started looking into next season's promoted clubs as the promoted clubs have been confirmed? That's a good question, actually. I have actually. I looked into some of the stats for Watford, Norwich, but not too much, because if there are any summer transfers that come through, that will be something that I'll be looking into as well to see which players have been brought in. From maybe clubs that are going down this season, they might kind of move over to clubs who are coming back up. So it'll be worth seeing who will be available for them to be there and to play. So I am really looking into it. So I have decided what kind of players I am looking at. So there's like Tom Cantwell, Timo Pukki, Troy Deeney. So you have these players who are kind of like regulars, kind of like captains of their clubs, who will play week in, week out. They have a great record in the Championship. However, the thing is, can they kind of like bring it to the Premier League, like Bamford did, like Rafinha has, Dallas. So there's a lot to look forward to next season, guys. Next season's going to be a really good season for FPL. But hey, we've still got 3 games to go this season, so let's remain focused and let's not lose focus of what's taken place so far. So guys, let's go through a bit of the games that are coming up over the next couple of days. So we do have Fulham versus Burnley, we've got United, Leicester, we've got Southampton versus Crystal Palace, you've got Chelsea versus Arsenal, which will be a great game in my opinion. Chelsea, they've really gone under the radar since Tuchel's come in. So let me just go through their performance so far. So they're trying to aim to get into the top 4. They've got to the Champions League final, which in itself is a remarkable achievement. I generally didn't believe they'd get past Real Madrid. That was my opinion. And then you've got also the Chelsea playing the FA Cup final. Now they've beaten Man City in the FA Cup semi-final. They've beaten Manchester City in the kind of Premier League game over this weekend, 2-1 at the Etihad, and now they've got to play them in the third match in the Champions League, which will be exciting. We're not sure where that's going to take place at the moment. It's in Turkey, but they're looking at maybe potentially moving it over to the UK due to kind of restrictions and maybe getting some fans into the stadium. So for me, it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a great final. Hopefully it's going to be a better show than the Spurs versus Man City game that we saw in the League Cup final. So Chelsea have done really well. So one thing I would kind of like watch out for is maybe rotation for Chelsea. So if you do have Chelsea players, potentially look at players like Mount, Mendy. I was going to say maybe Chilwell. These are kind of like the 3 nailed-on players that I think will play. So that's my opinion, guys, for that. So let's see how it all goes. That's it from me, guys, in terms of the knee-jerk reaction for this game week. So best of luck, guys. have a great game week end. I'll be back with more content around my captaincy choice, top 5 picks, team selection, and the deadline stream for the next game week. If you like this video, please hit the like button, leave me some comments to know how I've done. Hit the subscribe button, please subscribe to my channel, help me grow, get to the 500 mark to get my target and win a PS5. If you want to get in contact with me, all my social media details are at the bottom, YouTube channel, Twitter handle, and my Instagram. On the bottom left, we've got the league code to join the FPL INKLING League. So please put that code in, join the FPL INKLING League, and be part of a competitive league for FPL itself. My name is Mo. Absolute pleasure, guys. See you guys soon. Best of luck for this game week. And I'll see you guys in my next content video.